The year is 1700. In a mountain hermitage outside Saga, an aging samurai named Yamamoto Tsunetomo faces an impossible choice. His master, Lord Nabeshima Mitsushige, has died. Ancient tradition demands junshi, the ultimate ritual of following one's lord into the next world. But the Tokugawa shogunate banned this practice decades ago, calling it wasteful. So Tsunetomo does the only thing his honor allows. He becomes a monk, shaves his head, and retreats from society as a living ghost. He's 42 years old and will spend the next 19 years in isolation, contemplating what it means to be samurai when samurai have become bureaucrats, when swords gather dust, when warriors file paperwork instead of fighting battles. Today, we struggle with identity crises when jobs disappear or relationships end. We hire life coaches and scroll through self-help content, searching for purpose. Tsunetomo chose differently. He decided to preserve a dying truth, even if the world no longer wanted to hear it. He understood that sometimes the most important truths are the ones society is most eager to abandon. Tsunetomo wasn't alone long. A young samurai named Tashiro Tsurumoto sought him out, drawn by rumors of this monk who spoke the old ways with fierce conviction. Tsurumoto made a request that would change history. "Let me record your teachings before they die with your generation." For 7 years, from 1709 to 1716, Tsurumoto visited regularly, asking questions and capturing answers. Tsunetomo spoke freely, knowing these words were private, never meant for publication. He criticized contemporary samurai as soft. He praised actions the government had outlawed. He spoke of death with an intimacy that made bureaucrats uncomfortable. The result was Hagakure, hidden by leaves, over 1,300 passages of raw, unfiltered samurai philosophy. This wasn't a carefully edited treatise. This was dangerous truth from a man with nothing to lose. Compare this to our curated online personas. We edit thoughts before posting, terrified one wrong word might destroy our reputation. We speak in corporate jargon, saying much while committing to nothing. Tsunetomo spoke assuming only one person would hear, and that freedom produced something pure and terrifying. Hagakure opens with its most controversial statement. Bushido to wa shinu koto to mitsuketari. The way of the samurai is found in death. Tsunetomo means this literally. A samurai should wake each morning having already performed a mental ritual of death, imagining himself deceased, affairs settled, body cold. From this psychological death, he lives the day with total freedom. When you've accepted death, you become liberated. No anxiety about the future. You have no future. No regret about the past. The dead don't regret. No paralysis from overthinking. Corpses don't deliberate. You act with total commitment. Nothing to lose, because you've already lost everything. Modern psychology calls this memento mori meditation. But Tsunetomo goes further. He's not saying, remember you'll die someday. He's saying, consider yourself already dead right now, this morning, so you can truly live. Today, we avoid death pathologically. We hide elderly in nursing homes, sanitize funerals, use euphemisms, like passed away. We treat death as something happening to others, not us. Tsunetomo would say this avoidance makes us half alive, trapped in anxiety, unable to commit fully because we're terrified of losing what we desperately cling to. Hagakure's most disturbing teaching concerns loyalty beyond reason. Tsunetomo argues true loyalty transcends logic and morality. If your lord orders something foolish, you obey. If he commits injustice, you support him. If he leads toward destruction, you follow joyfully. Because loyalty isn't about the master's worthiness, it's about the servant's complete commitment. He praises samurai who threw away lives in pointless gestures, dying to deliver messages that could have been sent safely, sacrificing everything for lords who barely noticed. The moment you calculate whether your lord deserves service, you've betrayed the code. Yet we must ask, is loyalty without moral judgment truly virtue, or is it abandoning our deepest human responsibility? The warrior who follows evil orders may be loyal, but is he honorable? Real Bushido demanded both courage and wisdom in choosing what to fight for. True strength lies in the moral courage to discern right from wrong, even when that means refusing unjust orders. In our modern world of job hopping and transactional relationships, there's something haunting about Tsunetomo's absolutism. We commit to nothing fully, keeping exit strategies from everything. Perhaps the answer lies between his extreme and our ambivalence, committing deeply to principles we've chosen wisely, not to individuals blindly. By 1700, Japan had been at peace for nearly a century. The Sengoku Jidai, the Age of Warring States, ended in 1603. The constant warfare that defined samurai existence had become distant legend. Young samurai of Tsunetomo's era had never faced combat. They'd never made split-second life or death decisions. They were warriors in name only, bureaucrats with decorative swords, filing paperwork in castle towns, drawing salaries for services never rendered. The Tokugawa system intentionally created this. They transformed warriors into administrators, kept them comfortable enough to remain content, assigned bureaucratic duties to keep them busy. Martial arts became performance. Strategy became theory. The sword became a status symbol never used for its purpose. Tsunetomo watched with horror. He saw samurai afraid to die, calculating personal advantage, treating positions as jobs rather than sacred callings. This wasn't evolution, it was decay. Today we face a parallel crisis. We live in unprecedented safety and comfort, yet feel empty, anxious, purposeless. Our ancestors faced brutal hardships, but possessed clarity of purpose and willingness to sacrifice for something beyond themselves. Have we traded meaning for comfort? Tsunetomo's question echoes. Are we truly living, or just comfortably surviving? Hagakure contradicts itself constantly. One passage praises mindless loyalty, obey without question. 2 chapters later, it celebrates samurai who disobeyed orders because they understood their lord's true interests better. One section demands absolute duty above all personal considerations. Another praises warriors who abandon duty for personal honor. This isn't a flaw, it's the point. Tsunetomo isn't writing a rule book with consistent principles you can apply mechanically. He's capturing the messy reality of living by extreme principles in a complicated world. True wisdom isn't having consistent rules. It's developing judgment to know when to follow which principle. Sometimes loyalty means blind obedience. Sometimes it means disobeying for your lord's good. The warrior's challenge is knowing the difference. This drives modern readers crazy. We desperately want clear answers, algorithms, 5-step processes that guarantee right outcomes. We want to outsource judgment to systems that decide for us. Tsunetomo offers no comfort. He gives you 1,000 case studies and says, develop your judgment. Learn to see essential patterns. Cultivate intuition for right action without deliberation. This is the master's way. No shortcuts, only decades of practice until wisdom becomes instinct. Tsunetomo emphasizes that how a samurai looks, speaks, and carries himself matters as much as his abilities. Be impeccably groomed even in poverty. Speak with refinement even casually. Maintain bearing that conveys readiness even in peace. Critics dismiss this as superficial vanity, arguing that grooming doesn't win battles. But Tsunetomo understood something profound. In the absence of actual combat, style becomes substance. When samurai aren't fighting, their performance of warrior identity maintains the social order and their own character. How you present yourself creates who you are. The discipline of maintaining perfect grooming when poor develops character to maintain discipline everywhere. Speaking with precision trains the mind to think precisely. If you're sloppy in appearance, you'll be sloppy in thinking. If casual in speech, casual in commitments. Today, we mock performative behavior, insisting substance matters more than style. We celebrate the genius who works in pajamas, ignoring social norms. But modern psychology confirms Tsunetomo's teaching. How you dress affects how you think. The language you use shapes your character. External forms aren't decoration. They're the structure creating and maintaining internal substance. This is why successful people maintain seemingly unnecessary disciplines, making beds perfectly, dressing well at home, following elaborate routines. They understand these forms hold character in place. Why was Hagakure kept secret for 2 centuries? The Nabeshima clan restricted access severely, allowing only select senior retainers to read it. Officially, it contained private clan matters. Really, it was too extreme, too dangerous for a world that had moved beyond such absolutism. The Tokugawa shogunate created peace by moderating samurai, transforming warriors into administrators, replacing martial fanaticism with bureaucratic pragmatism. Hagakure threatened this balance. It was a voice from before compromise, before moderation. If young samurai believed death before calculation was highest virtue, the social order might collapse. The authorities were right to worry. When Hagakure became widely available in the 20th century, some militarist ideologues misappropriated its philosophy. They twisted its emphasis on self-sacrifice into justification for extreme actions during World War II. They cherry-picked passages about death and commitment, while ignoring Tsunetomo's calls for wisdom and judgment. This reveals the danger. Powerful ideas can forge character or enable fanaticism, depending on who wields them. Tsunetomo's principles require mature judgment and moral foundations. They're meant to develop complete warriors with courage and wisdom, not mindless zealots. The code demands sophisticated interpretation, which makes it both valuable and potentially dangerous. This is why it was hidden, not because it was false, but because it was powerful and true in ways requiring careful handling. Despite controversy, Hagakure survived and influences people worldwide today. Business leaders study it for lessons on loyalty and organizational culture. Martial artists read it for the warrior mindset. Philosophers debate its paradoxes. Artists find inspiration in its aesthetic perfectionism. Military professionals study it alongside Sun Tzu. Everyone takes something different from its 1,300 passages. The key is understanding what to apply and what to leave behind. Absolute loyalty to lords? Not applicable to modern employment, but the capacity for deep commitment to something beyond self-interest. Valuable and rare. Meditation on death to eliminate fear? Possibly valuable for building courage in a culture that avoids mortality and lives in constant anxiety. Maintaining impeccable standards when alone? Almost certainly useful for character development, when we've learned to perform for audiences and relax privately. Contradictory wisdom forcing judgment over rules, essential for navigating modern complexity, where simple rules fail and every situation requires actual thought. Hagakure works best as provocation asking uncomfortable questions. What would you sacrifice everything for? What principles would you maintain if they destroyed you? What deserves your complete commitment? These aren't comfortable questions. Tsunetomo wasn't interested in comfort. He was interested in transformation. Growth demands facing truths we'd rather avoid. His refusal to moderate his truth still shakes us from comfortable complacency 3 centuries later. Yamamoto Tsunetomo died in 1719 at 61, having spent 19 years as a living ghost, suspended between the brutal past he revered and the comfortable present he despised. But he left us Hagakure, too dangerous to share, too valuable to destroy, too extreme to accept, too true to ignore. This is the 3rd path in Kensei Code. Musashi taught us that mastery comes from walking alone and accepting reality. Takeda Shingen showed us that greatest victories are won before battles begin through superior strategy. Now, Tsunetomo reveals that living fully might require embracing death daily. That true commitment demands going beyond rational calculation. That modern comfort might prevent the intensity and meaning our ancestors experienced. More paths await. We'll meet the 47 Ronin who sacrificed everything for honor. We'll study with Zen masters who taught samurai to find peace in violence. We'll decode the tea ceremony's lessons about perfection and imperfection. We'll explore how Bushido principles shape modern leaders worldwide who hunger for something deeper than material success. Every Kensei Code episode reveals wisdom that changes how you see yourself and the world. These aren't comfortable lessons or quick fixes. They're genuine wisdom, tested in life and death situations, refined through centuries. Subscribe now, hit notifications, join this path, because once you've glimpsed what humans achieve through absolute commitment, you can never accept half commitment again. The code awaits. Will you answer?